If you're watching this video, you might also wish you were in hot water, and you probably are if the heater in your vehicle isn't working. And I am not wearing this house coat to make you feel better because you're probably freezing right now. I am legitimately freezing because my heater isn't working in my house. Thank you, Mother Nature, and your stinking floods. Step number 1. Before you start anything, you want to make sure your vehicle is cold so that you're checking your coolant level when it's safe and at its lowest. A good suggestion would be doing this first thing in the morning. That way you know for sure your vehicle is cold. Or after a long day of work, but you probably want to do this at home. If your vehicle is not equipped with an expansion bottle like this one, then you will have to remove the rad cap to check coolant level. This is more important, making sure that it's cold so you do not burn yourself. If your coolant level is low, top it up now and we can move on. Step number 2. Once you've confirmed your coolant level is topped up, take your vehicle for a drive. You want to make sure that your air conditioning is turned off, your heat is on, but your fan is set at the lowest setting. I'll explain why later. After you've been driving for about 10 to 15 minutes, check and see if you have any warm air coming out of your vents. If not, turn your heater down to cold, but make sure that it's not too far that you turn on your AC like this. Again, making sure that your AC system is not running. We'll head back to the shop or your home. Step number 3, is your vehicle up to operating temperature? For most vehicles, this is pretty easy. As you can see in this photo here, it's down in the right-hand corner. However, what if your vehicle does not have a temperature gauge, like my Volkswagen? How would you know if you're at operating temperature? That's an excellent question. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna shut your vehicle off, make sure your heater fan is off, turn your ignition back on, but keep the engine off. You wanna listen to see if you can hear your fan running. If your fan is not running in the engine compartment, you're gonna get out of your vehicle, open your hood, get back inside your vehicle, and start the vehicle and run it for 5 minutes at idle. That was super painful. So you notice you don't have electric fans to cool the engine down. You have electric fan maybe for your AC system, not the engine side, or you don't have any electric fans whatsoever. So the tip about leaving the ignition on will not work for you. Start the vehicle and watch the fan turn. Really, it's always going to turn on these style of fans, but you're waiting for it to kick in for the viscous clutch or whatever style of clutch you have in there, whether it's air or electric, anything to kick in and have a direct drive fan. If it still does not come on, you're going to shut the vehicle off again, and you're going to go and check the upper and lower rad hoses. But be careful. Rad hoses and your cooling system get very hot. So take extra caution, wear some gloves, and take a look at your upper and lower rad hose and see if they feel equally as warm or as hot. There's a reason why I keep telling you not to run your AC system, and here's why. If you turn your AC system on while you're doing this and you're running your heat at high temperature while you're checking everything, this can give you a false reading during the step of check upper and lower rad hose, because thermostats are intended to keep your system warm and in the operating temperature and may kick in and out. So if you grab the lower rad hose because you've been running your cooling fan, because you had your AC system on, this will give you a false reading, leading you to accidentally changing your thermostat when nothing in fact was wrong with it. After checking your upper and lower rad hoses, also you want to make sure that you're checking your inlet and outlet of your heater. Are they equal? If they are, then you know your cooling system is working correctly. If they aren't, you know exactly where your problem lies. You're not getting coolant flow through your heater core. However, don't stop here, because we're gonna have to come back to this very shortly. Step number 4, with your vehicle running, get into your car, set your fan speed to the lowest setting, turn your heat all the way up, and start cycling through your different mode selections. Face and feet, mixed or all, defrost for your window, and defrost and feet. After you go through all these settings, you want to see if one or more has less or more heat, or if part of your vehicle has less or more heat than the other. Now that we've done all these checks, if you're not hearing any horrific noises, we're going to move back to the engine, but we have to wait for our vehicle to cool down. So now is a good time to get inside and have a nice warm beverage. That is so much better. Step number 5. Now that your vehicle is cool enough, you can drain your coolant. And we're gonna flush out our heater core. We wanna do this first to make sure there's no debris in the system at all, and we confirm that this is not the problem. We're gonna flush out the heater system with a garden hose, starting with the inlet side and going to the outlet side, and continuously alternating until we've confirmed that there's no more debris and it's just clear water coming out. Make sure that you have a bucket to catch all of the coolant that comes out, because you want to protect our pets, but we love them very much. After this, you may want to use some compressed air, but be very careful. This could cause your heater core to fail, as air systems can have up to 120 psi of pressure built up in the system. So you do not want to put that kind of pressure on a system. The reason I suggest compressed air is because we want to, for the next step, put in Drano into the system. And then we're going to add water so that we can allow the system to break apart any debris that we did not get from our garden hose cleanout. The reason I mentioned compressed air is because you want to be able to make sure there's no water in the system, so you can add Drano so it gets to the very bottom of your heater core. We're going to add a little bit of water to bring it up, the mix up, so that it breaks down all the debris in the bottom of the heater core, and then we can flush it out afterwards. Wait 5 minutes. Set your timer on your phone, and then come back once it's done. Now, you can flush out your heater core, again, going inlet to outlet, and do this quite a few times. Make sure you flush out your heater core very well, as you do not want to leave any drain on the system so that it cannot transfer to the rest of your cooling system, as it could destroy seals in your system. So be very careful, spend time to make sure there's no Drano left at all. Step number 6, now that you've completed this job, you've hooked all your hoses back up, you want to refill your cooling system with new coolant, specified for your vehicle especially. Also make sure that you are aware whether or not you need a special technique in filling your vehicle's cooling system. Some systems require that they are vacuum bled, while others you can get away with having the vehicle on a ramp, some crazy angle, and you're able to bleed your cooling system properly. This is very important because if you do not do this properly, the outcome can be very skewed. I've had this issue in the past with other vehicles. Huh? Okay. And I had to use a vacuum bleeder system in order to bleed it properly. Here's how to do it and how not to do it. Step number 7. Once your cooling system has been bled and you've pressure tested your system to make sure there's no leaks, repeat steps 1 through 4 to see if the heat changes. If your heating increases in your vehicle but does not hit the full limit of where you had it before when everything was working correctly, you may have to repeat step 5, or you're gonna have to wait for your vehicle to cool down and make sure that you have no air pockets in your system, because this can cause the same effect. After all this work and nothing changes, you may be looking into your electrical system to make sure that your heater is working correctly. When I mean heater, I mean your mode doors inside your system. However, this video does not cover that. Hopefully this video is helpful. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, let me know in the comments. Also, if you're curious what vacuum bleeding looks like, take a look at this video right here. I hope you guys are having a great day. Please stay warm as best as possible this winter. I know we're having tons of weather systems, so please, everyone, be prepared, be safe. Hope you're doing well, and I hope to see you on another episode of Southdown Garage. Take care and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.